The reason why not caring gets you everything is because you have no attachments to anything. When you don't care, you're not attached to outcomes, circumstances, or anything like that. You simply are just existing. You're living in the moment and you're not worried about what's going to happen, what has happened. You're just focused on where you're at and feeling life as it is, feeling things in the present moment. And when I say that, I mean, when you are so attached to something, think about something that you've been wanting for so long, so badly, and you're so hyper fixated on it. And the more you think about it and the more you try to reach towards it, you feel like it's getting further away from you, or it is not, you are not seeing the fruits of your labor and you're not seeing anything moving in the way that you want it, or it almost seems like it's getting further away from you. Or it could also be one of those things where you do find yourself reaching for the tip of it. Your hand is right at the tip, you're about to grab it, and then something happens where you lose the grip again and you find yourself chasing all over again. I find when you don't care, things just come to you because you genuinely don't care. You're indifferent whether you have it or whether you don't have it. And because of that lack of detachment, it makes it easier for you to accept life in a way that frees up your mind to be able to just live, to be able to just try things without expecting anything, without putting so much pressure on it, and without ruining the beauty of existing and living and trying new things, failing, succeeding, because you're not attaching any type of success behind it. Like, oh, I've put in this amount of work. It has to be a guarantee that I'm going to get this as a reward. Going through life like that takes out all the fun, in my opinion. And this is not me saying walking around not caring at all is the way to be, because as human beings with emotions, we do attach to things, we do end up caring about things. We care about people deeply, about our passions, about different things in the world that we've been called to, that we feel fulfilled or that we feel we have a purpose for. And I think it's very normal to care. You don't want to silence that very human part of yourself. So that's not what I'm saying at all. But overly attaching, I think, is never the way to get an outcome. And I also don't think that we should be living life in such a do to get this reward and get that and get this. Like, we are so focused on doing rather than being. And I think that's what takes the fun out of everything. And that's what drains our life forces. That's what creates so much fatigue and burnout and all these other things that I don't think we were meant to be experiencing on such a regular occurrence. And that's also why I think sometimes just being like, you know what, to hell with it, I don't care. Like, you know what, this person, for people, for instance, who are so hung up on what other people think, having that attitude of, I really don't care what you think. That person looked at me weird, or two people who passed by me are laughing at me and they're grunting at me, whispering. To have that who cares attitude, if you're walking past someone and they're looking at you, or think to yourself, oh, they're not looking at me, or oh, that's not about me, or you someone's laughing or someone snapped at you or had an attitude, you just think to yourself, that was not about me, that has nothing to do with me. That level of I don't care, I find, gets you really far in life, because you have nothing holding you back. You have nothing in your mind, you have nothing to ruminate over. You are just focused on your existence simply. Your mind is not hyper focused on anything. You have nothing taking your attention away from what you are meant to do, which is to enjoy, to be, to experience everything in a lighthearted way. Even with people who are hyper focused on maybe friendships that are occupying their mind, like, oh, this person didn't text me, like, what, did I do something wrong? They didn't text you for what, a week, a couple days? You shouldn't really care. And I find when you pull your energy away from things that are out of your control, those things always end up coming to you or chasing you rather than you chasing it. it's interesting. It's very interesting. If you find yourself being someone who's very focused on the outside world, what's going on around you, and trying to make sense of it all, and you have a hard time loosening your grip on how you want things to be, start daily telling yourself, you know what, I don't care. Even if you don't mean it, just start saying, I don't care. I don't care. Nah, who cares? It's not that deep. Even when you don't mean it, just start integrating that lingo in your mind. And as I said, not in a sense for you to turn your sensitive heart cold to where you don't care about anything, because as I said, we are human. We care about causes, we have emotions, we care about people around us, and we do build attachments, but everything comes with a limit as well, and you should not over attach yourself to where you're suffering. So if you find yourself going through a moment, maybe your boyfriend didn't text you, tell yourself, I don't care, who cares? I'm still living in the present. This moment is still great. I'm still having a great day. And then just watch him text you or call you and be like, hey, babe, I was busy. What's up? And you realize everything's fine. I don't know if that's a good example, but I think it's a relatable one. But yeah, start practicing saying, I don't care. I don't care does not mean you're cold and you actually don't care about life. But I think having that I don't care attitude does put things into perspective, that not everything is as serious as it seems, and that we weren't meant to live in such a state of seeing everything as the end all be all, because it's really not. We're all going to end up dying, and everything that we thought was so serious is not going to mean anything, because we're going to be long gone and our soul is going to have been floated into wherever the hell. Our soul will just merge with the universe, and we're not going to have a physical body. So all the things that we think is a big deal and that we care about so much is actually nothing. And it may be harsh to say, because the things that we feel now in our physical human body can feel like a lot. I actually heard this analogy about emotions, why people have a hard time sitting with their emotions. And it's almost, though she was saying, it's Naomi sharing. She went on this podcast with the Lovers and Friends podcast, and her therapist, I think, was telling her, you need to learn how to sit with your emotions. It's kind of like an ice cube, right? Your emotions are the ice cube. Put the ice cube in your hand. If when you hold it, what does it do? It starts melting. But when you hold an ice cube, what happens? It freezes your hand and it actually really hurts. That's the emotion. If you do not hold it, it will keep hardening and getting colder and colder and colder until it becomes this gigantic block of ice. The longer you prolong it, and then when you do end up trying to sit with that emotion, you're holding this huge block of ice. Yeah, it will start melting because you're allowing these emotions to flow, but it hurts. It hurts a lot. Um, I don't know where I was going with that, but I think I was just trying to say our emotions in this human world, which this human world is not as big as we think it is. It's it's small, like it's big in the sense of there's many different cultures, many people, but it's also small because we all experience the same emotions, right? There's not that many emotions, and we experience all of them. And experiencing those emotions in our puny little bodies that can only hold so much, it can hurt a lot. But when we die, those emotions evaporate and they die with us. So I feel like we put ourselves through so much suffering that in the end does not end up meaning anything. It only manifests into physical diseases, autoimmune diseases, mental health problems, and all these other things that lead to an unhappy, unfulfilled life and a lot of suffering. But being able to carry those emotions, but not too long to where it builds up, being able to feel them and kind of let it roll through you and realize, you know what, none of this actually matters. Who actually cares? What matters is this present moment, how I'm feeling, whether it's sad, happy, mad. I'm going to feel that. I'm going to let that flow and I'm going to keep moving. And I think that's what life is about. It's not about holding on to anything, but letting life flow. The more you let things flow, you let yourself flow, you let yourself flow through the wave that life is, I think the more peaceful you can be at life. And that's not to say, don't go after the things that you enjoy. I think action very much is an important thing to take in life. When you want something, go for it, but don't force. Do not force to the point where it is bringing you stress and lack of happiness. Pressure is no good. We don't thrive in pressure, at least in my opinion. I don't thrive in pressure. And so, flowing in life, I think, is important. And don't give everything your ultimate level of care because it will burn you out. Watch yourself get everything when you don't attach it to whatever you imagine as this grand reward. Live for yourself as much as you can, and whatever was meant to come in will come in. Just watch. Just watch. On an ending note, look at how cute my bag is from Amazon. It's this big bag with the crossover body strap, and it is so cute. I love this bag. But yeah, that's it for my video. See you soon, and try to flow with life as much as you can. Bye.